2020, one year that has felt like an eternity, is finally approaching its conclusion, at least where the CrossFit Games are concerned. At these 2020 Games, Haley Adams, the most junior athlete in the field and a young woman who has grown up inside the sport of fitness, will compete for the title Fittest on Earth where the Games themselves spent their childhood, the ranch in Aromas, California. In the 14 years since its birth, the Games grew from backyard barbecue to a worldwide sporting phenomenon. However, as is the case for all of us, the challenges and restrictions of the COVID-19 pandemic have restricted the Games to the confines of the internet and home. Stage 1 identified the top 5 men and women via online competition. Now, finally in Stage 2, they will meet in person, under strict guidelines, to find who is the fittest among them. While this year has been uniquely difficult mentally for all of the athletes, Haley Adams has stepped up to each challenge and treated them more like opportunities.
We're here. So yeah, we're at phase 2, ready to go.
I'm really excited. It still doesn't feel real. I think when I get out there, it'll feel like the Games more than it did in Stage 1. So I'm excited for that feeling.
It's cool to have somebody to root for, somebody to push for, somebody to train with, kind of have a purpose for doing what we're doing, you know, coming in here every day, smashing ourselves into the ground. It's cool because Haley's such a good kid. I connect with her on the competitive side of, like, I understand where she's coming from, where she's at.
We've seen Haley's confidence grow since phase 1. I think phase 1 and phase 2 is really cool because you get to compete at the Games twice.
I'm super excited. I'm ready to go and compete against these girls and top 5 in the world.
I will run, I will rise, I will grow. I will climb to the place I belong. I will fight like the world's never known. Like the world's never known. Through the ash, through the flames, and it burns like a fire in my veins. In the end, you remember my name. Remember my name. Like the world's never known.
While Haley has achieved greatness as an individual, she relies on an all-star team for support and training. A team that boasts the greatest athlete ever to play the sport, Rich Froning, as well as multi-year team champion of the CrossFit Games, Tasia Persevich.
Quickly realized my role goes to training partner, and so we've literally been Haley's training partner ever since. And so now, what are we in, October? Feel like we're still grinding, and it's been a long year.
So my role to Haley, first off I want to say she does it all on her own. She doesn't need me, right? Like, she is incredible and it's all her. I want to definitely pay respect to Rich and his incredible programming. Like, everyone knows what he does works, and to see him and how his mind works and develop that for her has been great.
That's one of the things that I feel like I do have from a either programming, whatever you want to call it, coaching position, is in my head as an athlete, more, always more. I needed to do more. And so I learned over the years in which I wouldn't have learned, I wouldn't have had those experiences now, knowing that years I probably did too much, you know? So pulling her back on the reins, like I told her this time of year right now, I want her leaving here thinking, man, I should have done a little bit more, you know? Like, I don't want her leaving here, maybe a day or two a week, the last 5 weeks, going, oh, I feel like crap, we did way too much. I want one or two of those days, but mostly I want days of, did I do enough today? Like, I want that in your head a little bit.
As far as me, I would say I'm more emotional support. So just like, hey, maybe we've done enough today. You're doing great. Like, what do you need? What can I do? Can I run and grab this for you? And then just reminding her of the positive, right? We've seen such a transition in her mindset, I think, even from phase 1 to phase 2, how she's believing in herself, and just to try and help continue build that up for her.
You look at some of the stuff that you know is going to happen at the ranch. Some of the we've seen some testing photos of people swimming. We've seen some testing photos of people sprinting and running the hills. That, to me, that's something that right away you're like, oh, Haley Adams, that she is going to love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited for all the running, hopefully. Yeah, odd objects and just getting to compete. Like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, hopefully, to be in this situation. So hopefully I can take full advantage of it.
I conquered every mountain, hopping through it all. Yeah, hopping through it all. I'm fearless. Nothing can ever hold me back. Nothing. I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. You know.
Yeah, I think Haley's, her demeanor and who she is, her composure, and how she can go into a competition with a ton of pressure and remain calm and collected is going to benefit her greatly. She can separate, compartmentalize one workout to the next, and also stay calm. And when the girls are around her, workouts, we find out, right, that even if you start out and you're in the lead, that doesn't mean you're going to win, right? And she'll be able to just keep going through that and grind through those workouts.
You gotta get up and go get it. You gotta want it from the soul, you gotta feel it. You gotta seize it every moment, every minute, every time you get a chance, you gotta live it. Handle your business.
Just kind of see that switch flipped, right before something's about to happen, where the, people call it flow, whatever you want to call it, but you just kind of shut everything out. You don't really hear anything. You just kind of go to work, and Haley has that, and it's tough to teach that, really. You see people that get so hyped up and amped up that they go out way too hot or something like that. It's a little bit different than that. It's almost like a nervous confidence. That's, I guess, the best way to put it, but when she starts competing, it's like she's there to compete, which is cool, and I connect with and I understand that 100%. So it's cool to see that in somebody else, and somebody so young that has, such a bright future, as long as she can keep her head level and keep working hard.
I'm fearless, I am fearless, I am fearless.
So phase 1 and phase 2 are definitely different in how you're going to attack it. Obviously, phase 1, she was by herself. She just really had to go internal and give her best effort. Phase 2 is going to be way better because she's got 4 other women beside her. They're all going to be in the same heat. They're going to know where each other's at. And although we've seen that she doesn't need someone beside her to push her, she thrives on that. I know that from just training with her. She's going to buckle down and go and give it everything. So I think it will be easier in a sense that she won't need that, right? She's just gonna get into the workout and you're gonna see her grind.
I am feeling, I am feeling, I am fearless, I am fearless, you can't stop me, I'm fearless.
The grind that Adams will showcase in Aromas far transcends personal glory. It's a glimmer of hope in a dark time. For the entire CrossFit community, athletes and fans alike, Stage 2 offers the promise of a cathartic end to an impossibly difficult year. But while fans have no function but to tune in, Haley Adams intends to showcase the grit she has earned through months of adversity and uncertainty. Few could or will ever understand. That's why for Adams, the primary function of her Cookeville family is simply that. Misery loves company. The same can be said of greatness.
Yeah, I don't think people see the work that we all put in every day and the sacrifices and how we eat, and I don't think people truly understand until you've done it. So it is just hard to explain, I don't have the words for it either. Yeah. But if you watch, and
knowing what she's put in and the sacrifices she's made, and she's not living like a normal 19-year-old. So you see those things, so you want to see it pay off for her. You know, she gets to do something incredible and you know, train for a living, and she really enjoys it. So there is that side of it, but you see how much work and how much sacrifice goes into it. Yeah, heck yeah. I get a little bit, not rowdy, but you know, a little overly excited on Lakeland's 6-year-old soccer game that they really don't keep score, but we keep score, you know, that type of deal. Hillary's always like, would you be quiet? Can't help it, you know.
I'm never giving up faith. I will go all the way. This will be the day. This will be the day.
That one over there was the real one. That one I kind of knew I had made it, but like just seeing it, I was just happy, you know, but that was the real one when like tears started forming in my eyes. That was the real one, because people, like I said, you just don't know until you've done it. A lot of people say like, oh, I would love to have your life or do what you do, and sometimes I know they don't mean it, but it can be a little insulting because I think people think it's just so easy, just come in here, work out all day, and that's what, sure, that might be what it is, but it's so much more than that, and that's just what I mean, like people don't know.
I will stand up. I will not fall. I will stay strong. I'm never giving up faith. I will go all the way. This will be the day.
Like I said, the sacrifice of, you know, she's a 19-year-old. She's not living like a 19-year-old kid should, I guess. You know, she shows up to work and works, and then when she leaves here, you know, she may not be working out, but she's taking care of her body and, you know, not going out and doing stupid things. And it takes that sacrifice, and that's, you know, something, like I said, I completely understand. For years, I woke up every morning and my goal was to win the CrossFit Games and to be the best in the world at anything, and I pretty much sacrificed everything, and not proud of, you know, looking back, I'm like, probably sacrificed, you know, some relationships that I shouldn't have, or sacrificed even time with my wife that I shouldn't. But I think, you know, everybody wants to talk about balance in your life, and if you want to be the best in the world at anything, there is no balance, you know, it's obsession, and she has that, and whether it's healthy or not, we'll see. But it's, you know, like I said, I connect with it and I understand it, so it makes sense to me.
I love seeing messages from like young girls saying that I inspire them, because I mean, I was once that age, and I look up to the girls that I'm competing against now, so I know the influence that I can have on other people, because that little girl was once me. So just knowing that I can make a girl know that strong is beautiful and that hard work can really take you places is a really good feeling too.
I absolutely adore Haley. I really do. She is so fun. She keeps me young with her TikTok and everything else, her tooth gem that she said if she stands on the podium, she's getting a tooth gem. So I'm ready for that. I might get a tooth gem too. I mean, for Haley. But what's great about her is it's not just fitness, right? She truly cares about the people that she's around, and she's super kind and humble, and those things are truly her. It's not fake. She's authentically herself, and her passion for CrossFit and the gifts she's been given, she knows, and she wants to use them and just be a light to young women, and she already is. And I think her recognizing at a young age that her platform is so much greater than just her athlete, like her being a great athlete, because we know that she is that. She doesn't need to prove that anymore. She has, but that she wants to inspire young women to, you know, grow up and be who they want to be strong and be powerful. And that's a big undertaking, and to see her just step into that role and really lean into that is really incredible and cool to see. So yeah.
I think I've done way more than prove myself this year. Obviously, I think everyone's goal is to get on the podium, but even if that didn't happen, I would still be 100% proud of my efforts. And I mean, top 5 in the world is something to be proud of.
I get mine, you get yours. Who gon' ride? What you do it for? New design, new accord. Yeah, do or die. Yeah, when the war.
I think what's great about Haley is it doesn't matter the workout, right? Like even she saw that there's a possibility of a CrossFit total, which technically wouldn't play to her wheelhouse, but she's not afraid. And that's gonna go a long way, right? You can't let those fear and those thoughts get in your head, and she has none of those. She's just excited and ready to roll, and that's what's gonna benefit her.
Super level-headed, you know, she is super fit, but I think she's, you know, she's going in there a little bit with a chip on her shoulder. She wasn't real happy when, you know, there was stuff said about how much of a surprise or an underdog she was, so I like it. I think it's good. You always want to let either the target or you want to, you know, have something to aim at for sure.
In my zone, doggy, you should know that I get mine. Yeah, you get yours. Yeah, who gon' ride? What you do it for? Look, new design, new accord. Do or die. I'ma win the war, rest assured.
Haley for sure will be on the games podium. I would not be surprised if she was standing on top. I definitely know she's got a long way to go and to grow still, which is awesome, right? So if we don't see her there this year, in the future for sure.
Her future is, you know, she's got untapped potential. If she stays on this course and is willing to put in the work and the time, I think sky's the limit for her. I think, you know, this year she could make some noise. I'd like to see it. Obviously, you know, her being one of us and part of the family, I don't want to say she doesn't have a shot to win the games, because you never know. And so I'm fired up, and like I said, I know how much of a competitor she is, and kind of with going to the ranch, kind of the playbook is opened, I guess, and those type of things that she excels at are now possibilities. You know, when we were doing just open style kind of stuff, because that's really what stage 1 was. It was very similar to open style stuff. Those aren't her, it's not her specialty or her strength, and not having competitors beside her. But now that she has that little bit of, I think, competitiveness and a little bit of chip on her shoulder, I think people should be afraid.
I definitely don't want to take away from the incredible women that are there, and they have so many accolades and have done so many amazing things for the sport, and they still will be doing amazing things for their sport. But we can see that Haley, she's the future. She's so young and she has so much time left, and not only will we see her a CrossFit Games champion one day, but possibly multiple years in that. And I am incredibly grateful that I get to play a very small part in that and to witness her greatness.
What you do it for? Look, new design, new accord. Do or die. I'ma win the war, rest assured. I'ma win the war, rest assured. I'ma win the war, rest assured. I'ma win the war. I'ma win the war, rest assured. I'ma win the war, rest assured.
She doesn't have many holes, and I think the workouts in Aromas are going to play a lot to her strengths, and she's ready.
Yours, who gon' ride? What you do it for? New design, new accord. Do or die. I'm gon' win the war, rest assured.